G'day, Bomber fans. Yeah, this has been a week. It is finals, and all anyone can talk about is Essendon. But yeah, this does feel big. This is probably... I'm trying to think back on all the stories we've had since the drug scandal. I can't think of any bigger than this. Zach Merrett, our captain, we don't know if he's going to be with the club next year. That is the simplest way to put this on without rambling. I've actually tried to record this video a few times and I've rambled a bit too much. So I thought the best way to discuss this topic was to do it with a structure. I've got key questions that I'll try and answer, tough questions to answer, but at least, that'll keep me on track and keep the emotions out of it, hopefully. We'll see. Let's get into it. Let's talk about this Zach Merrett situation. So before I start trying to answer some tough questions and give my opinion, let's lay out the facts. So Zach Merrett is exploring a move away from Essendon. In fact, just a day after having dinner with Coach Brad Scott, he went and met with Hawthorn coach Sam Mitchell to talk about a possible move there. Now, on top of this dinner he had with Mitchell, he's also been in contact with the Western Bulldogs and the Collingwood Magpies. The club did not know this. This was a big betrayal to the club and it forced them to act. You had Brad Scott, who went on AFL 360 to say that Merrett would not be traded. Craig Votso went on SEN Radio to say that Merrett would not be traded. And then you even have players like Mason Redmond and Nick Martin coming out to voice their displeasure with this whole situation. This should be enough to kill a story. The club has been adamant that they're keeping Merrett, but that hasn't stopped him and his management trying to get a move done. In fact, it's probably gotten worse. Last night, it was reported by Tom Morris that people close to Merrett believe he's unlikely to attend Essendon's best and fairest. So, yeah, it's the start of it all, but it is the start of a very ugly story. So, we're just a few days in. It is fresh. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, we got to remember a lot of this is being driven by the media. We may be missing out on a lot from this story. We haven't heard from Merrett yet, but I think we are now at a stage where we have enough to at least comment on it. So, yeah, to cut a long story short here, Merrett wants out and his management are really trying to get it done. So let's ask some hard questions. So the first question, and maybe the hardest to answer, is will Zach Merrett stay at Essendon? It is, I don't know, it is tough. I think yes, I think it is important to remember in these situations that no matter how badly a player wants to leave their club, they are a professional worker who in this case is contracted. It is not as easy as a player wants out, a player gets out. It's not that simple, especially when you've got one of the best midfielders and a club captain wanting out. So for anything to happen here, Hawthorn or any other club would have to give Essendon fair compensation, and that seems incredibly difficult to do here. Hawthorn have pick 8, a future first, not much else. Collingwood are the same, the Bulldogs are the same, and that's just the negotiation phase of it all. So right now, the club are holding firm that Merrett is not for sale. He will be staying put. So even if you can convince the club to change their mind on that, which will take time, you then need to convince them that to part ways with Merrett based on what you are offering. And right now, Hawthorn and other clubs simply do not have enough to give us for Zach Merrett. And until that changes, I think it is more likely than not that he stays. I will say though, this is going to be a very interesting few weeks, because right now you've got both parties going really hard with their approach and their strategy. So you've got Essendon saying, nope, he's staying. The coach, the CEO, the players have all come out and said he is not going anywhere. He is contracted, he's staying put. And then you have Merrett's side. Merrett's management have come out and said he wants to leave, he wants success. That is the reason behind this move. You've also got stories getting leaked now. Merrett's dinner, that was leaked. The best and fairest night, leaked. Merrett's management are trying to break relationships beyond compare. I assume that is what they're doing. If not, Merrett needs new management. But the way I see this, and the way I see Merrett's management going about this, that camp is trying to show the club that he cannot return to it. Essendon are making it clear that they're keeping him, that he's returning, they want him to stay. So Merrett's camp are making it so hard for them to want him to stay. So if these stories continue, if he doesn't attend the best and fairest, if he, all these rumours and everything, if this gets really badly out of hand, then maybe he gets what he wants and leaves. And that's what they're going for. I personally, right now, I don't think it gets to that stage. I think, Merrett's management will obviously want him to move, but they don't want to ruin his reputation beyond repair. And if this continues this way, that is what's going to happen, because, his reputation right now is decreasing. He obviously craves success, Merrett, but if this continues down this road, it would come at the expense of a legend status at the club and league. That is the brutal reality of this. So Merrett, knowingly or not, is risking his legacy by doing this, and it's a game of chicken right now. You've got the club, will they back down and say, yep, okay, this is going on too far, Merrett simply cannot come back to the club, or will Merrett's management management say, this is too bad, this is not going to happen, Merrett will stay. One of those things is going to happen in the next few weeks, and that's what's so fascinating about it. And following up on that, the next question is, should Merrett stay? So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. If we try and look at it through Merrett's perspective, he wants success. He doesn't know if he's going to get it at Essendon. I think that makes sense. I think we can all agree that Merrett being frustrated about being in another rebuild is fair. That makes sense to me. Does that mean you trade him away? Does that mean he walks? Oh, no. Like, especially when you're captain of the club. Like, realistically, this guy signed an extension 2 years ago. A contract extension. He is contracted at the club. He upgraded that same contract. He got more money on it this year. That's when he did it. A contract that he knew ran out in 2 years' time. 8 weeks ago, he went on national TV to say he was all in on the club going forward. Now he wants out, and look, you cannot let a player dictate terms and do what they want, because that's what's happening right now, especially a captain. That's the way I felt about this a week ago. If Merrett wanted to leave, too bad. That's what I was saying in my head. I think this guy is good enough and professional enough to be 100% invested wherever he is, whether it's at Essendon, whether it's at Hawthorn, maybe Geelong, West Coast, wherever it is, he is giving his all. He is that type of player. But the situation now is, Merrett has fractured relationships at the club. You can see it. You saw it with Brad Scott on AFL 360. It genuinely seemed like Scott was talking to Merrett through the camera. You could see the betrayal. You can see it with Redmond and Martin as well. Both of them said they were disappointed. Martin said there were bridges to be built again after it. Like he has betrayed the club in doing this. And now we've got to question just who we are bringing into the club next year. Because if we're bringing in the professional athlete that we've seen in the last 10 or so years, then there is no reason to trade him at all. But the longer this goes on, with him staying silent while his teammates and friends have to put themselves in the spotlight, cop the brunt of this to protect the club, I mean, if he continues to be silent and continues to let his management play these guerrilla warfare trade games, damaging the club, putting it on the front pages for all the wrong reasons, it's eventually going to get to a stage where Merrett simply cannot walk back into the team. And that is the worry, and that is what his management are trying to do. That they are trying to make this a situation that Essendon cannot win from if he stays. And if this keeps on going, eventually it will probably get to that stage. That is why right now I'm really worried about this all, because I've got no doubts that Merrett is going to be a great and invested player wherever he is. If he wants success, it doesn't matter where he is. He's going to try and get it. He's going to try and win wherever he plays. But the way he is going about it is damaging. He is damaging the club, and that is not what a captain or just a player should be doing. So, I don't know. I'm torn. I know that we need Merrett to be a better team right now, but I just cannot help but lose respect and faith in him after this. It's so disappointing. Like, I'm not even angry that he wants to leave. I'm upset because I had higher standards. Like, I thought Merrett's desire for success was what made him so trustworthy as a captain and a player. But what he is doing here is trying to trade his way to a flag. And I don't know if I want that kind of mindset on the team going forward. It's at a stage now where us fans are thinking, is Merrett going to be the man to take us forward? Like, it's not even a scramble to keep him in my eyes. That's not the way I see it. It's just, I don't know. And that's because what he's done here, like, it's not like he's said he wants to leave. He went behind the club's back to meet with a rival coach, the same coach who mocked Merrett's teammates during the drug scandal on field. Merrett was on field that day. He's seen his coach go out and take the brunt of it all on TV. He stayed silent while reports of the best and fairest snub came out. The only thing I've seen from Merrett in all of this is him advertising his clothing business. And while that was happening, I saw McGrath and Langford backing the contract extensions that the club made online. I saw Redmond and Martin putting themselves out there to comment on it as well. That is leadership. Those boys that are putting the club first, that is leadership. But right now, Merrett is putting himself first. And no player is bigger or better than the club. I'm not sold either way. Like, I think there's a lot of emotion running around right now. It's hard not to be angry at Merrett. Like we all are. We've seen it. There's so many fans have lost faith in Merrett right now. And that's scary, But I think what's even scarier is the fact that, so many of us are not even scared of the prospect of Merrett leaving, but, we're considering it. Like, I don't even really care about the end result of this right now. I know that could change tomorrow. I know that that's the emotion speaking, but right now, I genuinely don't know if I want Merrett with us next year. And that is crazy to say. All right, well, this is a quicker question. Will Merrett be captain next year if he stays? I doubt it. Like, I don't, it depends. Like, if this wraps up soon, if Merrett comes out tomorrow and says, guys, I made a mistake. I was looking at my options, but I want to stay. Then, with a big preseason, with some confidence from the players, he can captain again. I think Merrett is a really good game day captain, and really, it's the player's decision. Like, if he's invested in the preseason like he probably will be if he stays, then they may see him as the best captain to take us forward. But if this keeps dragging on, I don't know. It's hard to see how this ends neatly. If reports about the best and fairest are true, and he's considering boycotting that, I mean, you simply cannot let him captain the club. But right now, we don't know for sure what is true and what is not. We're not going to know for a few weeks. I reckon this is going to drag on getting ugly. But the longer it does that, the less likely it is that, one, he's staying. But, if he does stay, that he stays as captain. So I think seeing his fellow leaders, they're vocal, Merrett staying quiet, that's not leadership to me. And I think the players they'll remember this. They're obviously pretty hurt by it. They've said so, those who have come out. And I know for a fact that the club are disgusted by this as well. So I don't think he's going to be captain next year, if I had to guess. But I don't think it's a sure thing either way. The better question is, should Zach Merrett be captain next year? I don't think so. You can say that the media is spinning this one way or the other. The fact of the matter is, Merrett has not shown leadership at all during this, and this is a really important time to be showing leadership. I loved what Mason Redmond and Nick Martin did. Them coming out to speak about it. I thought that was leadership. I thought Brad Scott, that was the most impressed I've been at Brad Scott since he's come to Essendon. I thought that was leadership. Zach Merrett is not showing leadership through this. And I thought Oscar Allen showed more leadership during his whole, West Coast Brisbane debacle. And that played out over the course of the whole season. So I don't know if I'm overreacting here, but I genuinely, I do feel betrayed. I feel like I find it hard to believe that this is how Merrett is going about it. And I know that this is his management driving the move, and they're trying to get the move done, and they're finding the tactics to do it. But it is still Merrett's face attached at the front of this. I remember seeing Joe Watson front up week after week during the drug scandal. That guy should have left the club or retired, but he stayed and captained us through it. I remember Heppel getting offers from other clubs. He should have left, but he didn't. He captained us through. Merrett right now wants success, and that is fair. No one's angry about that. But what kind of captain not only seeks success elsewhere, but throws his club into turmoil, throws them under the bus by doing so? Merrett's a better player than Heppel. I'd go as far as to say he's probably a better player than Watson too, with his consistency and longevity, but he is nowhere near those two as captains after this. And I want my captain to be sticking with the club and trying to win a flag the hard way. I don't want a captain who would rather trade his way to a flag like Merrett is trying to do. I don't have a problem with players seeking moves away. I loved seeing Danaher get his body right and his mind right at Brisbane. I loved seeing guys like Monfries and Fantasia return home and play good footy. Some of my favourite players are former Essendon players. But when a player wants to leave the club for success, that is when I'm lost. Next year, I'm going to be cheering Draper on. I love the guy, and I hope he gets everything right. He needs a fresh start. I really agree with that move for him. But if Merrett moves away to try and win a flag, I mean, that's it. That's the respect I once had for him gone. He is genuinely close to tarnishing his reputation with Essendon fans, and I'm guessing plenty of neutrals too. If he's happy to do that to win a flag, I've got no issues, but I don't want that bloke captaining the club if that's what he's trying to do here. Nah, but look, it is hard not to get emotional with this. We have to remember that we're basing this off a few little tidbits of news. This is just the start of the story. Tomorrow, Merrett may come out and say, guys, I'm staying. I had to think about a move, but I'd prefer to stay. And if that's the case, you can see a world where relationships are mended and he can be that legend of the club that he was on track to be, because that is where he is tracking right now. But there is genuinely a world right now where Merrett leaves and sets the club on fire in the process, because that is what has happened in the last few days. Essendon are under the pump right now, and it is all because of Zach Merrett. Not all because of him. I'm not blaming him. I'm not trying to make him the villain, because again, we don't know how this is going to play out. But I am so disappointed. It's hard not to let your emotions come to the front here. I'm not even angry that he wants to move away. I get that. It is not fair that he's had to endure rebuild after rebuild. But I just thought he was so much better and more determined than this. I genuinely thought he was going to see it through with us and get there the hard way with us. But I don't know. I guess maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong about Merrett. I don't know. We'll find out. Plenty left in this one. This is a big story that is not going to go away anytime soon. Maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll revisit this format and ask these questions again to see where we sit. Because it does make it easier to express my emotions, I guess, in a more productive way. But yeah, right now I'm pretty disappointed and frustrated with Merrett. I see where he's coming from. I get that he's frustrated, but I don't like what he's doing at all. And this is not what a captain should be doing. Merrett is... Well, it's not what a player should be doing. It's not even about doubting the captaincy. It's about doubting his spot on the list now. Yeah, cheers for watching, Bomber fans. Keep your head up. Maybe watch a good comedy, a good rom-com. Try and stay cheerful. Plenty more videos to come out. I'll have some draft content out soon, but I just thought I had to talk about this first. So, yeah, like if you enjoyed. I'm guessing you didn't enjoy. Like anyway, subscribe, and go Bombers.